I'm so lonely, girl, I need you so. I can't take it. Oh, I wonder why you had to go. But baby, ooh, every night I wake up crying. Ooh, tears on my pillow, pain in my heart, you on my mind. I remember all the good times that we had before. Oh, I remember, and now my heart, very soul cries out for more. But baby, ooh, all your love for me is dying. Ooh, tears on my pillow, pain in my heart, you on my mind.
To the places that Palangis were at normally.
Yeah.
Where you
No,
got
but
it-
that was a surreal moment for me. Huh, we're off mute? Oh, we already on. How much did y'all listen into? What did y'all listen into? Hey, welcome in. We apologize for whatever you guys heard earlier. We want to make sure that this episode
Yeah.
gets off without a hitch, and we have the quality that is, because you said something really important.
Yeah.
We scrapped that last episode because it was not up to snuff, up to par with
Oh, it's
our
crazy, because when
quality.
Cindy give you that look, that means
Oh
you gotta
yeah,
do it right.
oh yeah. She
Ain't
crinkled her
nothing to it but to
eye
do it,
and
yeah.
she was like, sold out or not.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. This Thursday night, I was able to attend the show. Josh Tatofi.
Yeah.
We have the MC, the epitome of MC and host, Big Body Cisco. Y'all just came back from a South Pacific tour.
Yeah.
World. You're on a world tour.
Yeah.
Right.
Again, so Josh was on a South Pacific tour. I just got back from Fiji with Fiji in actually.
Isn't that
Fiji,
weird?
so, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for letting us come to Fiji. Here's Fiji.
Yeah. While drinking Fiji water.
I'll drink Fiji water.
But that was a dope thing too because it was Fiji's homecoming. So it's 20-year thing.
Oh, no,
for
no,
them to
I did
go
see
back.
that. Sorry, I did
so
see that.
It was definitely a blessing, man. Get well soon to Fiji too, man.
Yes, you know what? I had a lot of people. They knew we were going to get together in that split moment, and what was asked about me immediately was, "How is Brother Ricoso? How is?"
So so he did one of his performances. The performance he did in Fiji was one of the best I've seen in a long time in Fiji. So it took a lot out of him.
Yeah.
So now he's trying to get his health right and trying to come back and do these shows. And like I tell him, take a break, get your health right because Fiji he's a perfectionist.
Who
like
does
us.
he listen to? He don't listen to nobody, and I mean that in a good way because if it wasn't for him pushing this much,
He's such an entertainer.
Yeah.
He's so used to always wanting to entertain. Sometimes you got to step back and take care of your health.
Yeah.
Which, even to this day, I think people should always step back and see where they're at health-wise because, you can't always do it. We're not the spring chickens no more.
Yeah.
So now you got to get well to get.
Let's put it this way: either you have a lot of videotape material on Fiji, or you are really good at your job. I'm going to say you're really good at your job. I've seen you at the show, the Thursday show. Bro, I thought you was gonna come out with like glue sticks, color lights, because it was popping.
Man,
it was popping.
It's always a blessing to do what I love because I started as a patron. I started as a concert goer watching the transition, but the changeover. So when they're changing over, nothing's on stage. You're watching guys plug in wires. You're watching people do this.
Boo, boring.
So I'm like thinking to myself, they should be somebody up there entertaining the crowd. So at that point, I kind of went, Jay Book came to the Bay Area one time. I said, "Ooh, let me bring you out." Okay, no one really, that was unheard of.
Nobody was really doing it. Yeah.
I went out there. I'm no comedian by no means, but I know how to crack a couple of jokes.
Yeah.
Went out there, cracked a couple of jokes, knew what songs to play.
He said he's
and was
Samoan,
there.
guys. That's what he said. Yeah, I'm Samoan. That's what I do. Yeah.
So did that, and Boog said, "Hey, can you do the next show like that?" So it kind of snowballed into doing their show.
Yeah.
Common Kings was the first show that I did as well, and they kind of put me out there. Hey, sis, go bring us out.
Yeah.
It was kind of just like a thing. Oh, go do that.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of a thing where I've kind of turned it into a career.
Yes.
Where it's still not respected as a position.
No,
it's still the promoters don't want to pay the MC or the DJ.
Yeah.
So I have to prove to them, and there are a lot of free shows because of it. But I did those free shows to show and prove what my worth is to these shows.
I want to go all the way back because it's a new episode, and so we can, moms is watching.
Absolutely.
I want to make sure
Shout
mom
out
and let's talk about our families real quick, so that everybody who's watching can say, "See, I told you that was my cousin. The hairline matches. I told you. The way he laughed, that's my cousin."
Yeah, absolutely.
So tell us about your islands and your background, please.
My mom, she's a Lafiti. She's from the Big Island of Kona. Her mom was German, Hawaiian, and her dad was Samoan, Fiatangaluia Lafiti. And my dad was raised in American Samoa.
Like the Moana?
Yeah.
Okay. I gotta ask, bro.
Lafiti and Tafiti.
Yeah.
Same cousins. But my dad was raised in American Samoa and Fankongo Utule.
Yeah. Town boy.
So you bring that together and you get them in South City, and then I'm the product of that.
Yeah. So Big Sexy was already taken.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So we was raised in the Bay Area, and then my mom and them, we moved to Long Beach when I was a kid, and we moved to Long Beach, and my brother came, and then the gang culture was big out there.
Yeah.
And mom and dad, they're always working. So when they were working out there in Long Beach, we were the ones going to school and having to deal with, hey, you want to be in a gang? And we were like, oh, let me go back home. Dad, we're about to be in a gang.
Yeah.
Oh no, mom and dad packed us up and we moved to the Bay Area. So ever since then, history's been made. So I always got ties to Long Beach, and I always got ties to Southern California. All my family's out there, my Auntie Oilau, Auntie Lisa. So shout out all my family that's there. But it was the best move for our family at the time to kind of get ourselves out of that gang culture. Nothing against the gang culture. We've seen what it was and what it is today. But moving to the Bay Area, there wouldn't have been no Big Body Cisco. I probably would have been Cisco.
Yeah.
But doing that was something that was pivotal in our movement.
Yeah. Now you would have been a big worm.
Yeah.
You would have been the first big worm. For sure. I'm waiting for you to have ice cream truck. Big Body Cisco ice cream truck. I'm waiting for that.
It's not a bad idea. See, I'm a business guy. So
distributor. Come on, bro. Let's go. What we doing here?
Absolutely.
When did you know? At what age did you realize that you had the gift of gab? Because before, not the MC
and this is
stuff.
a funny story. I always used to talk my way out of ass whoopings. So when my mom and dad would blame me for something, I would talk my mom and dad. So my dad was ready to give us discipline, and then I would tell her, it wasn't me, because if it was me, how would I do it? So I would talk my dad out of it. He was like, all right, where's your brother? So when I knew I could talk my way out of ass whooping, that's how I knew that I had the gift of gab.
Are you serious?
Oh, trust me, my mom, because I had my mom's mouth.
Yeah.
My mom could talk. She's in the business realm. She was selling commercial flooring, so she had the gift of gab. So hearing my mom do her work, I always knew that, she talked clearly, word for word. Her vocabulary was really well. So I was like, man, that's not a typical Samoan mom.
Right.
She was in the corporate world. She was dealing with, people that was up executives.
Yeah.
So the way she was talking, and then I was like, Mom, you don't talk like that when you're at home. She turned it on when she was at work, but she turned it off when she was at home.
We call that coach with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, coach with you.
She turned into the hood, Helen, but that I took that from her. And I kind of took that and kind of placed it where, like, okay, so all throughout school.
Let me ask you about that really quick, only because we do have some other ethnicities in your bloodline. How difficult is that to be? Are you ever Samoan enough? Are you ever German enough?
See, and I always say that. So I was raised in California, so I wasn't raised the traditional way.
Okay.
We were raised as English as the first language. So now it's frowned upon. Oh, you don't speak Samoan. Where I kind of like take it where, like, no, unfortunately that's what we weren't raised as, but that's because that was a choice by my mom and dad. We got yelled at, we got disciplined in Samoan, so we knew those words.
Yes.
But when we would go to some of the family functions, I kind of caught on, but we was never taught how to speak Samoan. Nothing against my mom and dad.
Right.
They wanted us to make sure that English was our first language because this is what we were living.
We're living here.
So why not have that and have your vernacular and your vocabulary be that much better? So nothing against that, but I wanted to master speaking the way I speak, real clear, word for word, and go from there.
This in case y'all, this is not where you put the blood for the vernacular.
Yeah.
There's not a vernacular.
Vernacular vein.
It ain't even vernacular. Come on, man. I love it because it's leveled everything up. What you are doing is you're bringing a face and value. You're bringing your oomph to a position that nobody ever thought of. Because
it's not a respected one.
I'll get my uncle.
Yes.
I'll get my cousin to do it.
And I was like, oh no, we have a guy that does that. And he just goes out there and brings. So I was like, I had to make an art out of this.
Yes.
And the way I had to make an art out of it was to kind of like mix in the music and mix in the talking, and because you can't when you're on stage for 20 minutes. And you're killing time, it's hard to keep the attention of a crowd. They're like, hurry up, get off and bring the headliner on.
Especially Polynesian.
Yeah, exactly. So when you're in that realm and you're kind of like, you have to come up with clever ways to interact with the crowd. So crowd interaction for me is everything.
Yes.
So when I get with Wastafa, I want to interact with the crowd. If this is our favorite song, we're singing a song that's familiar that the whole crowd can sing. So when we do Killing Me Softly, when we do Love from Keisha Cole, when we do these things, we know that's going to go relate with and resonate with the crowd.
Here's a nugget you're dropping that you haven't even said about, prep.
Yeah.
It sounds to me like you do prep work, you come out, engage the crowd, and kind of feel who's out here first. You don't
Prep
just come with a set playlist.
Exactly. Prep is huge. People think I just go on stage and we do what we do. No, there's a whole method to the madness where we go out into the crowd, we kind of see, okay, it's a younger crowd. Okay, we got to do younger music. It's an older crowd, so we're going to do older. So now it's a mix of older and younger. Now we got to do a little bit, we got to cater to everybody. That's in the prep work where me and Mustafa kind of see what crowd is coming in. We know what our demographic is. We know what artists we're working with. So if we're going to have an island reggae artist, we got to kind of set them up and let them knock them down. So that's where it comes in. We're in our green room saying, I think this song will work, this one might not work. So with that all prep, and then we kind of like act it out on stage. Once we get thrown a curveball by saying, we did our 20-minute stage that we prepped for, now it's like, hey, we need 20 more minutes.
What?
Now it's like, we got to call an audible.
Yeah.
Now me and Mustafa look at, now we just, because there's a plateau you get to as an MC.
Yes.
When you get the attention of the crowd, you hit it already. Now you're at the plateau. When you get thrown a curveball, it's like, oh, we need 20 more minutes. Now it's like, you're the bad guy on stage now. Because now you got the crowds like, man, you got them to that level.
Bring them in.
Ready to go.
Yeah.
Hey, there's a technical difficulty. One of the keyboards not working. So we have to continue the song and dance. Now we're all to, hey, Wes, maybe this one will work.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But we've done it enough where now we practice our craft and do from there.
If you would, I wanted to, I had a thought, but I wanted you to finish what you were telling us about Fiji. Because you worked a lot of shows with Fiji and his consummate entertainment, being a showman, consummate showman. Please tell me a story about Fiji that you've seen him, like, where he is about the performance, no matter what. He didn't let anything stop him. Tell me one of those stories.
So I have a relationship with Fiji where people don't see. I've known Fiji for a long time when, he was at the pinnacle of his career in Hawaii. And to see him go from there to there, the people that they don't see is behind the scenes with Fiji. His preparation is to make sure everyone's having a good time. He's a perfectionist, but he's also somebody that's so giving. If an artist is in the crowd, he'll have them come take some of his time and have them perform. Because he has such a big heart.
That's crazy. Right? Unheard of in performing, right?
And people don't know, like, he'll put everybody else at the forefront and he'll sit back and let everybody else get the kudos. Because he's been in the game so long, you know what I mean? And Fiji's one of those guys that he's our legend. He's our, our hierarchy. That is what we have this demographic. But no one knows his heart. And they're slowly starting to realize it because, once that's not around, you're going to start to say, oh, man, they didn't do it like Fiji did. So Fiji is one of those ones where it's a legend.
You notice any tips of the trade that he uses to keep his voice? Because man, is it kava? Is that how he keeps his voice?
So one time I lost my voice. And I was going on stage and I was like, Fiji, I lost my voice. He had this throat spray, He had this throat spray and I sprayed it in my thing and it cured my vocals. And I said, what is this? He was like, oh, no, it's just something to soothe. Because he can just go in there sing his butt off. At any time, beck and call.
Is that made by the same company that Magic Johnson got his HIV medicine from? Because I need to get that cough spray too, man. It was healed.
Man, Fiji did it in one thing.
Welcome, brother Fiji. Come on, you and Magic Johnson.
But he takes so much high measures like tea, ginger, honey. He tells everybody, hey, take care of your voice. Take care of your voice.
Okay.
And when you're not on stage, he's like, hey, like if we're out just drinking and partying, hey, stop yelling because you got a show tomorrow. Or stop laughing so hard.
Oh my gosh. See, I didn't even think about stuff like that.
And he's really attentive to that. He was like, hey, be quiet. We got a show tomorrow. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, you're right.
Wow.
Because you don't realize when you're laughing with everybody, that puts a strain on your vocal cords. And him being the legend, he's going to tell you, hey, calm it down a little bit. You got a show tomorrow.
Yeah.
And you're like, ooh, okay.
Okay, look, this is an interesting point because we have to understand that as local people, when we have our heroes, music heroes, whatever, and we want them to come and talk to us, but they're here for a job. Sometimes they have to say no, and we're like, what do you mean you want to talk to the homeless kids? What do you? Because I got to save my gift.
And that's one thing with Fiji. He will never turn down a picture.
Wow.
He'll never turn down an opportunity. Our demographic is like that because we're so loving. We got to be lucky that people want to take a picture with us. We got to be lucky that people want to buy a ticket to our show. So our artists that kind of deal with it, they're always giving to the people. Like I take this from Baby Bash. He said, don't be a dick, take the pick.
Yes.
Because why do that? You got to be lucky somebody wants to take a pic with you.
Yeah.
So that's why you got to be humble to
Bash
yourself.
is cool people.
Yeah, man. That's
there's a lot of shows here.
That's family, man. Yeah.
We're gonna take a break here. When we come back, I want to ask, football. You passed the eye test. I know you play some college ball, and I got to ask you about the Dog the Bounty Hunter episode, and how come you haven't used that? I think you're waiting for your book. I still think you're trying to write a book.
book. Book coming soon.
And
So.
put Dog Bounty Hunter in it. Don't Move a Muscle. We're gonna tell all next. How come you haven't used it?
Manatu le mafutana o emau o emanatu amaita o tu mawita ilo fatu Sauce aso tatoe fiavai Usue e fuli mai lotua la upele ontele tuna oe Tau sausohi Mana tuai Usue e fuli malo tua le polonga Tale lava Afai olea Na upele
Strawberries on the East Coast.
He's on the East Coast.
Yeah.
So. Oh, we're back. We're over here just talking story, as they would say in Hawaiian.
Yeah.
Speaking of Hawaiian, why do we go into pigeon when someone when one person comes and go, hey, and then even though you don't speak, I do that. Why do we do that?
You see it one because you think you're gonna get a bigger discount. Come on, I like that pumpkin. Like, when did I get this pigeon out of me? My mom does it all the time. We go to a Hawaiian restaurant. My mom goes. I said, "Mom, when did that turn on?" And you know what? I blame my mom, but I'm as guilty as she is.
So
because when I go to Hawaii, I do the same thing.
All of a sudden, we just saw Reno Mahe. All of us. Oh, sorry, Junior. Sorry, Junior. Welcome back into Everyday People, Utah Pacifica chapter, Buddha's Lounge. We have the one. Don't adjust your screen. Don't fix the focus. Yes, it is Big Body Cisco, the epitome of hosting and MC duties.
Thank you.
If you want your party to go to the next level, not quite Diddy level, but I'm telling you, it's pretty dang close. Pretty dang close. Ever get an invite to host?
You know what? I can't lie. I have a couple invites where I did not go. Yeah. Good thing I didn't, because that must have been somebody up top watching over me not to do that.
I'm telling you, because, okay, let's just be honest.
Yeah.
Because in the day and the age when he was coming up, if somebody would have if Diddy would have said to me, because we got, we're in industry. If Diddy would have said, hey man, we got this party, I want, bro, say let's.
But you know what, I thanks to that. That was right in the middle. So during the East Coast, West Coast hip hop battle, I was West Coast all the way.
Yeah.
So when I was Tupac, when Tupac hated Diddy, I hated Diddy. So I never had the love that you supposed to get him. So I felt like it was personal.
Yeah.
Because if Tupac said hit him up, we was gonna hit him up.
We was gonna hit him up for real on the back and everything.
Yeah. So that's why I'm kind of glad when we did get an invite. I was like, nah, I'm West Coast.
Yeah. so I it's crazy that we were around, and you know what? I'm still waiting for one of the Booyah tribe to come out when they were at the Diddy party.
Gotti, we got to get that on, because I know Gotti might have been there.
Gotti.
Shout out my brother Gotti, man. Shout out. I know for sure Cobra was there. So
I ain't even gonna say none, but I ran into some Booyah tribes at the Playboy Mansion. Anyway, I was on the other side. They were, yeah. Welcome back in. We're talking to Big Body Cisco. Thursday night was off the hook.
Yeah, man.
If you didn't know, Josh Tatofi and his entire band performed at the complex on Thursday night. took a break. That's how stressful y'all was on him. Utah, y'all this elevation, the air. He had to take today off so he can be ready for you guys on Saturday. He took Friday off so he can be ready for Saturday today.
A little story about Thursday, like that show sold out in 90 minutes.
No.
So Utah wasn't even on the initial West Coast tour dates. He added Utah late, and it was crazy because he was like, he didn't feel like how he would do out here. He sold out Complex in 90 minutes.
You know why?
And it was crazy.
You know why? I know why he hesitated. Because one time, because I worked with his Auntie Moana in Polynesian days, and credit to Josh's experience, he came out, and at the time he was just starting to come out. Ladies and gentlemen, Josh the Tofiti comes out, he goes, just my family here. What the heck? So I can understand why he had hesitation for Utah, but then to see that it sells out in 90?
Yeah, 90
what does that do to an artist? What does that do to you?
It boosts your ego.
You're on the show.
Yeah, so and I told him, I said, because you know that if it sold out in 90 minutes, you're like, man, there's more people that couldn't have got to those tickets. So in true artistry form, Josh was like, you know, let's add another show. So he added this second show.
And even that was nerve-wracking.
Oh my God. And it's crazy because me and Westapha, we got added onto the show for just the Utah dates. And he goes, hey, I want you guys to come on to Utah, because he wanted to make sure that we was going to have a good time.
Right.
He added us on there. We did the show on Thursday, and he was like, Saturday hasn't sold out yet. But everyone's seen the footage from Thursday, sold out Friday night, and now here we are for another sold out show on Saturday.
Yeah. I'm congratulations. It's one of those things as an artist, you know, I can only imagine, you know, it's sold out in 90 minutes. You're what are you at home in the house or whatever? Josh, you'll never guess what happened.
Yes.
Your show just sold out in 90 minutes.
And mind you, this is one of the bigger venues that he's done on this tour. So Complex in the big room, that's like huge.
Yes.
You know, because I've seen the little rooms, I've done shows in the little rooms, but this, to sell out the big room for him is like, wow, I could do these bigger venues. He sold out 2 nights there, so.
Let me ask you about your legacy.
Yeah.
I saw that you're spreading your seed a little bit as far as the business world.
Absolutely.
You got a merch, you got a brand, merchandise, all of that stuff. What do you see is the end game for you for Big Body Cisco? I mean, you can only MC. I see you jumping around, bro. Your knees. I was feeling for your knees, bro.
I got about 2, maybe 1 or 2 years left on stage performance.
Yeah. What's the play?
So my pivot, people are gonna laugh at this. My pivot is to get into comedy. So I tried my hand in comedy for a little bit.
I saw it.
And my first debut was at the Jimmy Kimmel Comedy Club in Vegas.
Yeah.
And I opened up for Michael Yo, who's a well-known comic.
Yes.
And I just felt, because everyone always tells you that you're funny, but it's a different beast when comedy.
Different.
So when I tried that out, I was like, you know what, this is the pivot. Because it doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter how young you are. If you're funny, you're funny.
Yeah.
And I think with my life lessons and everything that I got coming up, after this stage stuff is done, I think that's going to be something, because I want to stay in the entertainment realm.
Yeah.
Everything that's business-wise is going to come with it, but I think pivoting from that, throwing my own festivals, doing my comedy, that's going to be the end game to kind of like pivot for my ad as MC. So I think definitely, I mean, look out for that soon.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've been doing this for a long time, and I love it.
I love it. I love it. You and I both share that same passion.
Yeah,
I was
absolutely.
very fortunate to have guys here who believed in me.
Yeah.
Shout out to Keith Stubbs. He owns a Wise Guy. So if you're in Vegas, you got
Wise
Wise Guy.
Yeah, it's right next to Blue Martini.
Keith's a very good friend of mine. So this guy says to me, I need you to come on and open up.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, I ain't no comedian. I never wrote a joke in my life. So he says, just talk about you. I know you can do it. You know who has me up? Ari Spears.
Bro.
Ari
Spears is a beast.
Cramping in my pants. I'm cramping in my pants because I'm opening. Never done it before, right? Aries comes and he puts me on game. He says, look, man, what are you gonna be talking about? I said, I don't have anything. I'm just off the
I'm just gonna wing it.
You look, don't do too many race jokes because I'm gonna hit him over the head. That's my shit.
Yeah, that's dope.
Shit. So I go out. I don't know what I'm doing. I talk about Samoans. I talk about Tongans. Do that. I come off. I'm like, I can't believe I did it. They was laughing. He goes, what'd I tell you? Didn't I tell you not to do any race jokes? Now I got to work harder. Like, so
now you're making it harder for me.
How is that? Keeping it so that you know, because I thought I was cool with Aries. I come up like, my feelings.
Aries goes back to a perfectionist, right? Aries Spears is a perfectionist, and he mastered his craft.
Yeah.
Like all other comedians, Dave Chappelle, they master their craft. So when they do have an opener like that, they want to make sure that it isn't cut into their thing. If it was a younger comic, you probably wouldn't have had that. I had Michael Yo. He said, look, go and do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
And Michael Yo was like, man. And so the funny story about that, they gave me 3 minutes. I was supposed to do 3 minutes. I got so comfortable, I ended up doing 13 minutes. And they was like, who's going to tell you to cut off?
The light
trying to light me. So I don't know comedy verbiage.
Yeah.
So there's, we're going to light you after 3 minutes. So as I'm doing my thing, they're lighting me, and I'm like, oh, somebody got a flashlight over there. And then and I keep going.
That's
13 minutes later.
Never seen a blue flash before.
Michael Yo comes on, he's like, I wasn't going to tell that big dude to get off stage.
Yeah, who gonna tell me? Shoot.
But it was, I mean, and I got a taste of it.
Yeah.
Because I've been on stages where there's 10,000 people, but this is like a tight-knit group where they're sitting down looking at you, make me laugh. And it's a different beast. You can attest to that.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna throw my. I see an opportunity. I'm gonna throw my name. If you do a comedy tour, I would love to be on.
Absolutely.
You know, let's take
Come on,
this.
Big
let's
Buddha and
take
Big
by
Body.
storm,
It don't get
the
no
big
better than
tour.
that. Yeah.
The big comedy tour. The big ass tour.
And shout out to Moore who's doing it right now too, because I think in this space like Tofinga and the Laughing Samoans, that was something that we watched. And Tofinga's a really good friend of mine and Raider fan, but that's besides the point. But doing shows with him, you know, Tofinga's
We're not from the Bay Area anymore. I see how you are. I'm a Raiders fan.
See, because Fiji, Big Buddha, and Tofinga, they're all Raider fans, and I'm the only one that goes in on them on social media, especially Fiji.
And that's why I'm the third one to get the Raider jerseys.
But like Tofinga, kind of like he was a stepping stone where, you know, I see what he's doing and making people laugh of our people. So I think it's definitely possible. I think we just got to open it up more where Tamua is doing his thing as well.
I got to shout out a local guy who's been doing it for years under the cover, Josh Fonokalafi.
Okay,
he's the only Tongan stand-up comedian I got,
absolutely.
you know, so got to give him a shout out. He's doing the craft. And a lot of those guys like from once they were warriors. You know, Morrison, all those guys, they've been paving the way. Uncle Pulley. Not the character, but you know what I'm saying.
But you see now with social media, there's a lot of talent comedy-wise. On Instagram, on TikTok. So a lot of these comics that are coming out, like Oos Rex and
the real hot team.
Yeah, exactly. And people don't know, Josh Satofi was actually doing comedy, Uncle Joe, that he's doing of his old Tongan uncle. He was doing that before he got really serious into the music. So that when I met Josh during that time, and to see what that has evolved into, it's crazy because us as Polynesian people, we can always pivot. It's either comedy, either it's music. It's something that we're entertaining the masses.
We're talking to Big Body Cisco, the epitome of MC and host. We're coming to you live from Dolly Crepes. Hope Mom is watching because, you know, for both of us, it's really about Mom. If Mom can approve and like whatever I do, I don't really care about what anybody else
When I brought my mom on my podcast, that was one of those things where she didn't know, I set her up. And she
I know. There's no way she agreed to come on that. No, I saw that. I'm like, that guy got hella fussy.
She gave me the look that Cindy gave us when the static was there. She gave me that look.
Yeah.
So when she gave me that look, she goes, hurry up and do this because after this, you're going to go. So, but it was a blessing to me because I wanted that episode of my mom to kind of, and it resonated with people that, you know, who was a mom. I'm a mama's boy. So being a mama's boy, I wanted to get her story out there because that episode alone, when I travel to New Zealand and I travel to Australia, they're like, dude, that mom episode is my favorite one. And it's cool because I have everybody that's cool on there, but you don't ever have your mom on it. You know, some people are fortunate to still have their mom here, and some are unfortunate not to have their mom here. And to kind of see that story resonate with the masses, like it was beautiful.
No, thank you for setting even better examples. I know everybody's saying, ask him. I know. I just want to wait more people to come in before I let him tell the story. I didn't forget, but you did have a football career. And
short stint.
But you passed the eye test, right? You had the skills. You know, you come from a football family, a very physical, athletic family. I want you to, if you wouldn't mind telling our listeners and our viewers about the Dog the Bounty Hunter story. Man. You're at football practice, and these fools show up.
Yeah, so we're in Daly City, and you know, I played for minor league football for the Daly City Renegades at the time, and we're at football practice, and we just see people don't see. He had about 30 Daly City PD cops with him, but all you see is Leland and Dog the Bounty Hunter coming. So they were looking for a guy that looked similar to me, and then they
all look alike. Oh, sorry, what? Sorry.
And they grabbed me and was going to get me. So me being from the Bay was like, oh, y'all about to see Dog get messed up right now. So that episode kind of went viral where, you know, that was something that no one was used to. They was used to him being in Hawaii, you know, getting like drug addicts and all these people. Like over here, you was coming to the Bay Area, it was a different beast. So for something that's the virality of that episode, it kind of went well. But when you come to the Bay Area, you're different with, you know, you're dealing with Samoans and Tongans and that whole thing. So that kind of took off where we didn't know it was going to do it like that. So when the episode aired, I didn't even know I was going to be on the episode. They had me front and center as the premiere episode. Big Body still, you know, that's not my name. I wasn't Big Body still at the time, but they used my likeness without me knowing. So with that kind of went into litigation and whole thing. We had to sue the Dog because I said, hey, and Dog was calling me all the time. Hey, we need you to sign this release form. I was like, nah, you know, I don't want to look like that to my people. He kept saying, Samoa loves you. And I'm like, bro, I'm not doing it. So they released the episode without a waiver, and that's why you never see the episode again, because they did it illegally.
Yeah.
So that's where that came about.
How many years?
Man, that was a minute ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. Man, but now to this day.
So the statute of limitations is gone.
Statute of limitations is gone. So what's dope about that, when I go to liquor store or a supermarket, I have this old white dude, man, you on Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because now that I'm like, oh yeah, I was on there. And so we had a short stint of being famous for being on Dog.
Yeah.
But we were going to Las Vegas, and they were like, oh, that's dude from Dog the Bounty Hunter. So ever since that time, it kind of took a mind of its own and beast of its own. So it was a good time.
Yeah. No, I love that, because that was right around the time that I just left and I came to Utah.
Yeah.
Because I just left the Bay Area, and I heard this there was some Samoan kid, but I didn't know it was you. I didn't know what was going on, but we had a dust up with Doc because he was starting to become popular. Try to find the episode. I couldn't find it.
Yeah,
man.
you ain't gonna find it now because the stipulation was not to have it out there because no one signed waivers, and with TV, you gotta have that waiver. If you don't have that waiver, it's kind of, you can't show it on TV no more. So that's where it's at now.
I know we're getting ready for the show with Josh Duffy. People, it's sold out.
Yeah.
Please, I need you to talk a little bit about the concert, because I need people to understand why they need to buy the tickets.
Yeah.
One, when they see your name on the show, it is an experience. It is. If you come there and you don't know that you're ready, I promise you, my cousin will get you ready. You gonna be jumping up like, "Where's the Holy Ghost? Where's the Holy Ghost?"
So you, like with the artist with Josh Duffy,
you
have to temper down with like, how are you going to set up the crowd for him? So I've seen his stage show. So me and Westava goes back to our prep. We have to prep for an artist like Josh Duffy. So we know he's going to do his hits. We kind of say, okay, we got to make sure the crowd is ready for that.
Yeah.
So when you do that, you get it with supporting artists that are like, he has Kehlani on there doing his thing, but we're like the filler. We're the guys that's before the show. We're the guys that's always direct support. So we're always the people that come on right before Common Kings. We're the guys that come on right before J-Boog, Maoli, and now Josh Duffy, where we're going to get the party going. Because behind us, they're plugging in wires, they're making sure the thing's going on. So we're just in the forefront of entertaining the crowd. So when I say it's an experience because I want to make sure that you guys are not just sitting there watching chords being plugged in. We were here to entertain you guys. And I think that comes with, doing it year in and year out with different artists and knowing old school R&B is always going to resonate with the crowd. Old school island reggae is going to resonate.
People that are not going to the show tonight, what did they miss?
They miss an experience that, whether it's date night, whether it's going to a show for the first time, that everyone is going to be on social media. We live in a social media world. Once you see those clips that are going of Josh standing up over the chair, out of his whole tour, Josh never got up out of his chair. Thursday, he got up out of his chair. Because he was feeling the vibe from the crowd, feeling the vibe from everything that was built, where the poly crowds are different. You have the Tongans, Samoans, Hawaiians, Fijians, everyone's partying under one roof. That's unheard of. I mean, it's more normalized now, but that was unheard of 10, 20 years ago. But now that you have that, he's the son of the South Pacific. Now he's coined that term for him where he's up there playing these songs where he was normally traditional Hawaiian. Now he's veering off into the R&B, into the island reggae. So it's definitely a good show that if you miss it, you're going to say, man, I got to get the next one. And that's what we want people to do, gets the next one.
The only other artist I could think of that I kind of think of in Samoa is Jerome Gray.
Oh, yeah.
Matza's
dad. Matza from Common King's dad. Jerome Gray is a legend. He's
the only other person like that that I feel like this is where Josh is at, and he's about to get into this other stratosphere, right?
Because mind you, Josh comes from Kapena. His dad played for Kapena.
Yes.
So when you're a child of that, and your dad played for Kapena, Masese and Don't Say Goodbye, those are things you grow up on. Now it's kind of like, if you guys were there, you missed. I'm not going to give the secret away. But I will just say his dad is Kapena. But having Uncle Timo there, that was like a dope thing.
No, it was a great moment Thursday. His mom, I kept wondering why everybody kept shouting out the VIP.
Yeah.
And then finally Josh comes out and says, oh, my mom's right there. And I'm like,
and it was crazy because it was one of the first shows that mom actually came to. And to see her, I'm mama's boy, to see her son and look around and see how big this is. It was big for them. Thank you so much.
By the way, that's one of our lovely associates here at Dolly Crepes who are allowing us to be live on location. If you haven't been here, it's a festive place where you get your breakfast on. Breakfast is still the most important meal of the day. I wanted to ask about the different concerts, not Polynesian events, right?
Absolutely.
This obviously has solidified. You're in our people. You're here. Has it helped you with our other brothers?
Because I always take the stage not thinking that I have to be the poly guy. I always go on the stage thinking I could be the universal guy.
Yeah.
So I'm not just catering to our Polynesian people. When I go on stage, you guys seen it before. I'm playing LBC, I'm playing Summertime in LBC, I'm playing all these songs where when you go, if I'm a concert promoter, I'm like, dude, this dude could do my show because he's not just doing poly stuff. And nothing against doing that's doing the poly stuff. Yeah. I'm doing stuff because that's what I was raised on. I was raised on old school R&B. I was raised on old school hip hop. So when I do that, now people that are doing old school R&B shows, they're like, hey, we want you to do that thing you did for the poly show. You know, that's how you know that thing you do.
Yeah.
So that's why I've been fortunate to do like Cali Roots. You know, I brought out Ice Cube. I bring out, you know, all these different acts now where it's like I can adapt to, okay, if I'm bringing out Ice Cube, I got to do a West Coast hip hop set. Me and Westaffa are good at that.
Yeah.
We're bringing out Duran Jones and Indication. We got to do old school R&B. So we kind of see what artists that we're working with, and we cater to each artist and do that. So that's kind of like caused us to get hired on not just poly events, but worldwide events. So we're doing like festivals. We're doing one-off shows where, hey, we have Western Conference there? So you see in the name, Western Conference is not a Polynesian name. Because I don't want to pigeonhole ourselves into just being able to be hired for that. Right. You can attest to that too, because now you're directing your talent to the masses, not to just the Polynesian demographic. Yeah. And that's what I kind of feast on, where you got to be a universal brand, not just a pigeonholed brand.
Well, speaking of universal brand, of the perfect pivot, I want to talk about Western Conference. Tell me about the podcast and you know, all the rigors, and is it everything you thought it was going to be?
It has more and more. So Western Conference was something that I did big body radio when I couldn't get on mainstream radio. Yeah. You know, you was on mainstream radio, so you was a big inspiration to me. Where when I couldn't, that's when internet radio came along. I started big body radio, and at that time they were like, you should turn it into a podcast. But I was all about the music. I wanted to mix J Boog with Miguel. I wanted to do, you know, mix the mainstream with our artists. So that was my intention for that. But when I started to notice that people were actually paying more attention to the banter of me talking than the music. So when that came about, they was like, dude, they don't care about the music. They care about what you're talking about. So that kind of pivoted into a podcast where I was like, you know what, me and Westaffa are already doing the music thing. Let's do Western Conference. The name Western Conference came about because Westaffa was doing Rugby Sevens parties in Vegas. I was also doing it. And my manager at the time, Brandon, shout out Brand One, said, hey, you need a DJ to kind of complement what you're doing. So I got with Westaffa. Yeah. He's from LA, you're repping the Bay. Western Conference came about because that's the Western Conference of the NBA. So that came about, and that name stuck. So when we had that thing going on, we were doing shows everywhere. Western Conference. I said, dude, we need to do a podcast. It could have easily been the Big Body Cisco podcast. Yeah, right. But because I knew we had this brand already, I said, what better would be for Western Conference was the birth of Western Conference podcast. We knew all of our friends were in the business. So I had accessibility to them. I could hit up Fiji. I could hit up Bug. I could hit up Comcane. Hey, come on our podcast. So they didn't really think it was a real thing until I actually did the first episode. I was like, oh, you really doing this?
They were like everybody else too?
Yeah, so they didn't really, oh, you do that. Silly. You know Joe Rogan, you know Big Champs. So I'm like, nah, we're really doing this. And my mom was like, you know how to talk. So podcasts are what? All about talking. Yeah. So I was like, okay, we do it. And then Westaffa kind of compliments me where I talk too much and you don't talk enough. Yeah. So you have that balance.
Yeah. So did Michael Jordan pass the ball to himself?
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Yeah, I need my Scottie Pippen.
You need a Pippen. You need a Pippen.
And that's what it came about, where it's crazy because our first 10 episodes were just of friends we had. We had Comic Kings come in, we had, you know, J Boog come in, Fiji came in. So we're already at the pinnacle of the demographic at this time. Right. So doing that kind of caught the eyes of everybody. Oh, so artists were, hey, I want to be on the podcast. Yeah. So, you know, it's not just artists, it was entrepreneurs. There was people that was doing something because I didn't want to just pigeonhole it again to just Polynesian. Yeah. Those were my friends, but I also wanted to pivot and have the entrepreneurs, you know, the Meuli. I had Barry White's nephew on there, who's a host. Shout out Jay Sean White. And I wanted to get the others involved. The Filipinos, the Palangis, I want to get everybody in there where it's not just, Western Conference is not just a Polynesian podcast. You could have anybody on there. So that was my goal and that was my drive, and my dream came true because we're almost on 60 episodes and we just had the new one with Favai from Island Avenue.
That's dropping nuggets, man.
And I'm starting to realize where with Western Conference podcast, it's how you began, where you're at, where you're going. As long as we cover those three things, you told your own story. So instead of having somebody make their assumption of what your upbringing was, you have it from your mouth to their ears. So why not do this podcast? And now Fiji's been on there twice. And people don't know, like, I've had Dinah Jane on there, and people get real emotional because it's just a conversation like me and you talking. Yeah. They don't realize that the camera's there. They don't realize. So when I had Dinah Jane on there, she got emotional about her whole story. Fiji got emotional about his. And it's not like I'm looking for a viral moment. Yeah. That just shows you the authenticity of what the conversation
not just that too. You know, part of what we do here is to give flowers, and I know you hate that, but really this is to give you your flowers. You have made me feel comfortable at every function you've been at. You made me feel like I belong. You know, that I can be wild.
Yeah.
You know, maybe that's from your Bay Area side or whatever. But every time I've never felt when you were at a show, I've never felt like I can't do that.
Yeah.
I'm not. You know, even this, I'm like. Everybody watching me, you know. I'm like, I caught myself because you had me going, and when you were like, you know, when you do this, I'm looking around. I'm like, well, why not, guys?
Because it's
Come
like
on.
we're so stuck in it's like I'm too cool to do what that guy's telling me to do on stage. So I've always run into that. You know, I've done shows in Utah where we got all the gangsters in the back, but I got all the females in the front. My job is not to entertain the females. My job is to get those gangsters up off the wall. So if I can
y'all
sit
hear
there,
the nuggets? Y'all listen? Yeah.
The girls and stuff in the front, they
there. They there.
But I need to see the dudes that are on the back. If I can get them, so when you got gangsters boogieing and they making their way up to the front, I've done my job.
Yeah.
But it takes a certain song, it takes a certain, you know, words and verbiage.
Yeah.
Because they're seeing some big Samoan dude out there. Oh man, he's having a good time.
Yeah.
I'm having a good time. That's all it's
Yeah.
about. If they see me having a good time, they kind of drop their shoulders. Now they're not so puffed up. They're like, oh, I can have a good time right now. That's what it's all about. I said, you know, get them big shoulders and crip walk or do whatever you got to do and come over here and have a good time. And you could do that with music.
I'm glad you said crip walk because I don't say electric slide anymore for obvious reasons. Anyway, when my mom, when that song comes, how can I see about? Nope, I don't dance to this song no more,
But it's
Mom.
crazy because we did the biggest electric slide at a festival. I said, look, I want to be on the Guinness Book of World Records. And I said, we did it. And just to look out there, every walk of life, whether it was gangster, whether it was Filipino, white, black, they was doing electric slide. I said, look at this. It wasn't an official Guinness Book of World Records, but to me, I was like this. You got 10,000 people doing the electric slide. You're doing something right.
I still ain't doing it. I know what the song's about. I ain't doing it. That's
exactly.
That's the
Once you find out what it is,
that's the. I'm gonna put a little pressure on you. I gotta ask. I'm not gonna ask about the artist because every artist has their own ability to entertain, and everybody could be off on a night, right? So I give them respect for prep and all that. What I'd love to end with is your top 5 venues around the world. You've been around the world. You've been in Utah. The crowds. Just this past year, what are the top 5 crowds in your tour so far?
So we just did one at the Mountain Winery in Saratoga with Common Kings. It's a winery in Saratoga in the Bay Area. It's an outdoor venue. So and the acoustics in there are dope. I went there as a fan to watch UB40, and I told myself I'm going to be on that stage. And lo and behold, Common Kings were like, hey, we're doing a show, come on tour with us. And I seen that was one of the stops. So Mountain Winery was definitely one of my favorites. But out of all the festivals, I did One Love Festival in New Zealand. It's a different vibe out there. Like you see tens of thousands of our people, whether it's New Zealand, Maori, you got Samoan, Tongan. But I'm talking about you until you can't see people. And they're grooving with what you're doing, it's a different beat. Australia and New Zealand is different. Like I do Holo Holo festivals out here in Vegas, and we're doing Seattle coming up, but it's a different beast. Like even Utah's crowd on Thursday, I've done shows in Utah, but that vibe was different. It hit different. So it would go Mountain Winery, New Zealand, and then it would come back. I'll flip it on you like this. There's 2 venues that I want to do, that once I do those venues, I could say I could retire and I'm done. It'd be Red Rock in Denver, and it'd be the Sphere thing that they have in Vegas. Once I do the Sphere and once I do Red Rock, I'll be done.
Because getting your name on the billboard for Palms is not enough. Okay, I see how you are. You want to be on the... No, you better stop right now. This dude, I'm driving through Vegas and I'm like, I'm like, oh hell, cousin, nephew on the Palms.
That was crazy. That was I made it moment, man.
That was my I made it moment. I'm like, see, that's my cousin. I know him.
Yeah, because I promised myself when I moved to Vegas from the Bay Area, I moved to Vegas in 2020, and I said, well, I had a bucket list. My 5 was be on a billboard in Vegas, you know, get my own spot, buy a house and all that. So when I had got the opportunity to do that, it was, we need your picture for the billboard. I was like, what billboard? Well, we have all our billboards around, and I'm like, so I said, cool. I sent them the picture. Shout out Team Why Not? Shout out Palms. And my mom and dad happened to come to Vegas that weekend. And we drove by, and my mom goes, what's that? Oh, man. I'm getting emotional talking about it. But like everyone,
I know the feeling.
Everyone was like saying, dude, you're on a billboard in Vegas. I'm like, and my mom was like, and my dad started crying and doing that. He said, you made it. He goes, all that shit talking you was doing as a kid paid off. So, and that's what it always comes down to. As long as I make my mom and dad proud, and I'm fortunate to have them still here, I'm doing what I was built to do. So that's what I got to be doing.
I don't know how else to end a podcast like that. You end with mom and dad. The next generation. We're on the search for the next generation of Dinah Janes, Big Buddhas, Big Body Ciscos, Cindy Sattinis, you know, all of those. We're looking for the next. What do you want to leave behind for them? What's something that they can go back in the annals of Big Budah Cisco and say, you know what? Let me pull this clip from October 2026 to 2024. What can you leave behind for them?
This generation has so many resources that we never had. Social media. We used to do hand-to-hand flyers. Now you can just post a flyer. Never settle for less. And the reason why I say never settle for less is because you guys are okay with being complacent where you're at. It's like now there's always a next level. Like I always go back to the video game. You beat a level, there's always go back to the next level. So these kids nowadays can go YouTube University. My son, JB, he's learned to play the bass guitar and piano off YouTube.
Wow.
I've learned to do all this, setting up a podcast all through YouTube. We never had that growing up. So use the resources that are at your beck and call, because if you use that, you could be a star. Oh, you need one video to go viral. You need enough, because whether you have one follower or 10,000 followers, as long as you keep the same energy that you're entertaining that one follower with the 30,000, you're always going to be on that up and keel, because you're always evolving as an artist. We're always evolving as a brand. Now, okay, cool. I got the stuff going for MCing. Now, what can I do next, business-wise? So I need to do merch. I need to, sell myself see what my podcast can do for YouTube. Well, how money
can you talk really quick about, because there's something I'm seeing with local entrepreneurs, we're a little afraid of friendly competition.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
Absolutely.
It's good. Friendly competition is good.
Friendly competition is good as long as the competition is not malicious. As long as it's competition to excel your brand and not kind of say, oh, I'm doing it just to beat them, then you got to do the competition can be done for the right reason. When you have malicious intent behind being competitive, that's when you're kind of doing it for the wrong reason. I think if you always excel your brand to say, okay, you're making me step my game up. Oh, Buddha just did this. Oh, I got to go do this too. But in a fun way.
Yeah.
Like, because if we keep pushing each other, who's to say that we can't push each other to the top? With The Rock, he's in Moana. Yeah. Okay, how do I get in the movie? As a creative, how do I get in the Moana movie? How do I be an extra? Yeah. How do I do that? Okay, I don't got the resource. What research can I do to get to that next level? You have it at your beck and call. Yeah. If you're not using those resources, you're doing yourself a disservice, because you can't blame anybody but yourself. If you can't say you didn't make it, it's like, dude, we gave you all the tools. When you say, God, how come you not do? God's sitting there like, I gave you all these tools.
I sent you
I gave you all these signs and everything. You're the one not using it. And it's our job to kind of say, you know what, God? Okay, I see what you're doing. We have these conversations where I was talking about mental health. We deal with mental health as Polynesian men, and people think that we have to show everybody our wins. On camera, we're winning all the time. Yeah. When the camera's off, we're going through depression.
We're going through
like, ooh, am I overthinking what I'm doing? So we don't glamorize that on our social media. Everyone posts on social media their wins, but please believe that person you think is the most happiest person, they're dealing with everyday struggles that people that don't broadcast it are also dealing with.
They got L's too. They got L's too.
And L's make those W's that much stronger.
Exactly.
Because if you don't have L's, you're not always winning. There's a reason why you lost and picked yourself back up, and that's why you're on to the next level. It's always creating and getting more out of life. And I've learned the older I've been getting, where the quality of your life is better than the quantity of life. I got to have all this, not because you want quantity. Now when you get older, you see your dad getting old, you see your mom getting old, you're like, man, life's happening. You don't realize how much time that you thought you had.
Right.
Now it's starting to catch up. You're losing loved ones. You're like, man, what am I doing? Am I living life to the fullest? Because I could be in that casket
what's important?
too.
Am I really doing putting time in what's important?
And I always say, when I go to a funeral, can somebody go up there and say, Cisco lived his life? When they do the speech, can they go up there and say, hey, I don't care what he's doing right now. That boy lived his life. When I go to funerals and I'm like, man, are they resenting and regretting what they didn't do? So that's why I try to live life to the fullest every day. But like, dude, why you just don't care? Because, dude, we could be gone tomorrow. Me and you could leave there and get hit by a bus, and they be like, oh, but at least they had that good interview before they died. You know what I mean? So you got to always appreciate opportunities like this. That's why I never turn down a picture. I never turn down an invite. Because I always feel like if I'm not on here,
I saw that one picture you signed. Hold on, though. I was like, Mom, they gotta do my cousin bad like that.
Polynesian Music Network.
Y'all did my cousin bad, bro.
They had me. I don't even remember I had that shit over there.
Oh my God.
But probably, like, even with that one, having that.
How about I went and I deleted everything on my pictures?
Don't go through the history. Just don't go through the history. But like, you see all these creatives now. It's a beautiful thing. Polynesian Network. I was talking about Culturally Rooted Podcast. This one right here with every people with Pacific. So everybody's doing their self to further our demographic.
And really, this wasn't really to come and learn from you. I really wanted you to come on so we can give you your flowers. You've been, seriously, bro, every show I've been to, every event you've been to that you have been a part of has been a great event. And it's, you said the proof is in the pudding. I want to end with promoting your show, your next show, the 23rd, because people, if y'all got money, if y'all got disposable income, and y'all don't believe what I'm talking about, if you can get this Tonight show, that's great.
Yeah.
But look, go buy a ticket, go to the 23rd show in Hawaii, and y'all will see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, this show is different. So this one's actually a Big Body Cisco Presents show. We're doing it in Redwood City, in California, in the Bay Area. So go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah.
But Saturday, November 23rd.
We have the Magic Johnson Theater, by the way.
At the Fox Theater, we got Sammy Johnson, we got Finn Groover, we got K Nova, we got Etu, and we got the Servants and Western Conference. But the reason why this show is a little bit more different, it's presented by Big Body Cisco.
Is this your first one?
No, I've done a couple, but now that where I'm at in my career, I said, let me get back to throwing my own shows. And nothing against anybody that hires me for shows, but I'm like, why not throw my own show?
Yeah.
Why not go back to the Bay Area? Why not go in the middle of the peninsula where people from San Jose, San Francisco can come into the middle to meet? Where Saturday, November 23rd, where, now I don't want to have a guest list. If you really mess with me and really support me, go buy a ticket. Because I think I got enough people in for free throughout my career for y'all to buy a ticket to my one show that I'm doing right now. So when I do that, it's going to just pivot into a festival that I'm working on. And that if you come there, I know that you're going to have a good time. Why? Because my name's on it. And why wouldn't I make it an experience for anybody that goes to the show? It says it, Big Body Cisco presents the Feel Good Music Concert Series. And this one's for the ladies. You see, it's an all-male artist, but because I want to cater, I always cater to the women.
Yeah.
Because I think you make the women happy, you're doing something right.
Well, if mama ain't happy,
exactly.
Happy.
So that's why Saturday, November 23rd, get your tickets at BigBodyCisco.com and all the information is over there. And all social media, you can follow me. And make it simple on people. Big Body Cisco, Big Buddha. Stop doing the underscore with the 68 and the 415 and you got to make it easy for these people to find you.
Look, living in a state where women and men are getting married at 18, I'll tell you what, we got some problems in this state.
Yeah,
we would love, as everyday people and Utah Pacifica chapter, Buddha's Lounge.
Yeah.
I even throw 92.5 in there.
Come
if
on,
there's anything we can do to
collaborate.
collaborate.
Shout out sis as well.
Oh, well, I'm going to let Pella do her own thing with y'all. Y'all got this own thing. I ain't even trying. She's going to see this.
Shout out Pella, man.
I know she's going to be like, really? You didn't want to take me over there? You know how I feel. I'm like, I know.
Man, shout out Pella. She's doing big things. We got to connect, Pella,
If
for sure.
Pella was here, I would not be here. So, yeah. Man. Anyway, but, I'm really proud of what you're doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I just want to throw our name in the hat. If there's any way we can collaborate on that tour and figure out, all boats rise.
Yeah.
And like you said, if you really want to mess with us, buy a ticket.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Hey, we go further, stronger together.
Yes.
When you try to go by yourself, you ain't gonna get us far. But when you come together, you'll go a lot further.
In closing, who do you want to say thank you to or say goodbye to? Shout out.
I always say thank you to everybody that's creative. Always have a creative mind. People that's watching this right now, even the kids that come to the show, always be creative because you're not pigeonholed to just doing what you're doing. Yeah, we got to go to school. Yeah, we got to do certain things. But if you get outside of that box and see what Pandora got for you, it can be limitless possibilities. But my mom, my dad that are out here, my sister that always support me, but family is everything. We do this thing for the name on our back. When we used to play football, you represent the name that's on your back, and I represent my Lutu and my Lafiti side, where I always got to make them proud.
Yeah.
So I always say to these kids, whether you have a good relationship with your parents, always make your mom and dad proud, because that's what we live for.
Yeah.
And if I'm doing that, I'm doing myself a good job.
Well, I don't know if we're actually really blood related, but I've always called Uncle Harvey my uncle.
Oh man, shout out Harvey, man. That's family.
This is how you know we're really related, because that dude could call me at 2 o'clock in the morning and I will drop everything to do what he asked me to do.
Yeah, man. Shout out Harvey Luke.
Him and Uncle Leroy over there in Alaska, man. Fuzz those guys. Anyway, like we always say, if we can help one person through this podcast, we're doing some good. But I think we've helped a lot of people today level up. Please use the advice, use the tips and the tools in your tool belt.
Come on.
And as we say, everyday people, please be kind. Sis, love you, bro.
Love
Break
you,
a leg.
Thank you.
Break a leg.
Thank you, Michelle.
Till next time. We'll see you guys. Thank you to Daily Crepes. Dolly Crepes, thank you.
You good, Tim? Yeah, I'll see.
Faca te